Hello everyone, and welcome to Earth Archives. Did you know that the thrilling opening theme music of the UEFA Champions League actually comes from a classical music master from 300 years ago? That's right, the stirring melody Zadok the Priest, which excites countless football fans, was composed by the Baroque composer Handel for the coronation ceremony of a British king. Today, we'll take you on a journey through time to explore the legendary life of this iconic composer, from a musical prodigy in a small German town, to conquering the Italian opera scene, and finally becoming the official composer for the British royal family. How did he rewrite his destiny with music? And how did his compositions survive for over 3 centuries to become one of the most iconic anthems in modern football? If you want to learn the astonishing story behind the Champions League theme, Handel's musical miracles, and how he created the classics Messiah and the Hallelujah chorus, then you definitely can't miss this episode. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and leave a comment telling me, which Handel piece is your favorite? Did you know that when we sit in front of the TV, ready to watch the intense battles of the UEFA Champions League, the majestic opening music carries an amazing story? This roughly 3-minute piece is not just simple background music. It's a masterpiece by the Baroque-era composer Handel. What's more special is that this piece, called Zadok the Priest, was originally composed by Handel as a coronation anthem for the British king's crowning ceremony. The music is filled with solemnity and sacredness, perfectly conveying the authority and grandeur of the royal occasion. Just imagine, a classical composition created in 1685 has survived over 3 centuries and has become one of the most iconic opening themes in today's football stadiums. This connection across time is truly astonishing and deeply admirable. Speaking of Handel, his life story is truly more fascinating than any opera plot. He was born in 1685 in Halle, Germany, a place that wasn't exactly known as a musical center at the time. Nobody would have expected that this town would produce a musical genius who would later astonish all of Europe. His father was a remarkably versatile man, working both as a barber and a surgeon, specifically serving the nobility at court. He cut hair, shaved beards, and even performed surgeries, holding a fairly important and busy position. Simply put, old Handel wanted his son to pursue a career in law, become a lawyer, and lead a stable and respectable life. So his father actually hid all the musical instruments in the house, fearing that young Handel would neglect his studies once he got into music. Talk about a very real parental worry. But the passion for music was impossible to suppress. At just 7 years old, little Handel sneaked up to the attic, found the hidden harpsichord, and played in the dark, completely ignoring the risk of getting caught. Even more impressive, there was one time he went to the court with his father, where a grand pipe organ stood proudly. Without hesitation, the boy started playing it casually, and as soon as the notes flowed, the nobles present were amazed and exclaimed, "Wow, this is a musical prodigy." Handel's life was like a classic underdog story straight out of a movie. Despite the pressure from his father, he stubbornly carved his own path. His father wanted him to become a lawyer, but the fiery passion for music inside him was too strong to be extinguished. Through his firm belief and relentless effort, he eventually gained formal training from teachers, transforming his once wild musical talent into a brilliant gift. What's even more impressive is that young Handel didn't limit himself to learning just at home. He crossed borders to the opera capital of the time, Florence, Italy. This place was the cradle of European opera, where every great musician wanted to study and exchange ideas. Being invited to study there and learn from top masters like Scarlatti and Corelli was both a rare and prestigious opportunity for Handel. During that time, he worked hard to absorb the essence of Italian opera and began composing his own works. His first Italian opera, Rodrigo, caused a sensation as soon as it premiered, catapulting him to fame and officially establishing him as a rising star in the opera world. This cross-border learning experience and guidance from the great masters laid a solid foundation for his musical career and infused his compositions with the charm and passion of Italian opera. Handel's musical journey was not a smooth fairy tale. His father passed away early, leaving the family under heavy financial pressure, an immense burden for a young musician at the time. Although Handel briefly returned to Germany to study law, trying to follow his father's wishes, his heart had already been firmly captured by music and could not let go. Later, he served as the court music director in Hanover, a position that gave him an important platform and valuable experience, allowing his works to reach a wider audience. However, an even bigger turning point came when he was invited to England, a major leap in his musical career. After arriving in England, Handel composed the famous opera Rinaldo, which quickly made him famous and earned high praise from Queen Anne. The Queen even loudly declared that England finally had opera works surpassing those of Italy. This wasn't just casual praise, but the highest recognition of Handel's compositions. When talking about Handel's musical achievements in England, we can't ignore his two royal masterpieces, Water Music and Music for the Royal Fireworks. These works were not just music pieces, but the very soul of aristocratic social events and royal celebrations at the time. With their grandiosity and beautiful melodies, Handel's compositions shook the upper echelons of English society and firmly established him at the pinnacle of England's music scene. Especially during the historic celebration in 1717, King George I held a spectacular fleet procession on the River Thames, and Handel's Water Music was specially composed for this grand event. Imagine the sunlight glistening on the sparkling river, boats slowly parading along, and the orchestra playing magnificent pieces on the vessels. The entire city of London was mesmerized by this feast for both the eyes and ears. This performance became a legendary story of the time. The king was so pleased that he requested multiple encores of Water Music throughout the day and generously rewarded Handel with a substantial stipend, an indication of just how highly regarded he was in the royal court. Handel's musical journey, although brilliant, was not without challenges. English audiences gradually grew tired of pure Italian operas, finding it hard to understand the lyrics and emotionally connect. Coupled with management problems in opera houses and rampant piracy, ticket sales plummeted, negatively affecting Handel's reputation and income. For a once glorious composer, this was undoubtedly a heavy blow. But Handel was not one to give up easily. He keenly sensed the changing tastes of his audience and began experimenting with a new form, the oratorio. Unlike opera, oratorios lacked elaborate stage sets, flashy costumes, and even on-stage acting. They relied purely on music and singing to tell a story, often based on religious and biblical themes. This purely musical form gradually became Handel's new path out of adversity, touching hearts in a way that transcended the theatrical spectacle. When it comes to Handel's oratorios, his masterpiece Messiah is absolutely unmissable. This work is truly a classic among classics, especially the thrilling and nearly universally recognized Hallelujah chorus. Whether performed in solemn church concerts or lively Christmas and Easter celebrations, this chorus has become an indispensable staple. Hearing it feels like a divine power striking straight to the soul. Interestingly, Messiah did not premiere in London, but in Dublin, Ireland. In 1742, Handel was invited to hold a charity concert there, where Messiah was performed for the first time. The premiere caused an immediate sensation, captivating the entire city. This concert not only allowed Dublin citizens to experience the allure of world-class music, but also firmly established Handel's important place in British musical history. Later, Messiah gradually gained widespread recognition and popularity in London. Although its early performances were not without difficulties, over time, the musical beauty and profound religious emotion of the work moved more and more listeners. The Hallelujah chorus often became the climax of these concerts, with audiences spontaneously rising to sing along, a scene that remains deeply memorable to this day. As Handel grew older, he not only remained a musical genius, but also showed a warm and charitable side. Did you know that he often held charity concerts in the chapels of London's orphanages? He donated all the ticket proceeds to help children who had lost their parents and were living in hardship. This kind gesture revealed not only his kindness, but also the shining humanity behind a great composer. Though he never married, Handel lived a life of nobility, enjoying the favor and support of royalty and aristocrats. This lifestyle sharply contrasted with that of his contemporary Johann Sebastian Bach. Bach spent his life in poverty, with many children and great financial pressure, yet he also created countless magnificent works. Both were giants of Baroque music, yet their destinies diverged greatly, but each left an eternal musical legacy for future generations. In his later years, despite worsening health and eventual blindness, Handel maintained his passion for music composition and refused to be defeated by his physical challenges. Imagine this great composer unable to see the world around him, yet still able to envision grand musical masterpieces in his mind. This determination and love for music are truly moving. He passed away in 1759 at the age of 74, which was considered a long life at that time. His funeral was held at Westminster Abbey in London, drawing a crowd of about 3,000 people, a truly unprecedented gathering that reflected his esteemed status in both society and the music world at the time. This event was not only a farewell to a great composer, but also a tribute to a golden era of music. What's even more astonishing is that Handel's influence far exceeded his own era. Decades later, great classical composers like Haydn and Mozart drew inspiration from his works, creating even more timeless masterpieces. Beethoven, too, praised Handel repeatedly in his letters, calling him the greatest composer. This cross-generational respect allows us to truly feel the eternal charm and immortal value of Handel's music. Every time the powerful melody of the Champions League kicks off, it's not just about igniting the passion of football fans. It's like a bridge connecting the fiery spirit of modern football with Handel's immortal musical soul from centuries ago. Imagine Handel, born in 1685, steadfast in his love and dedication to music, never imagining that the tune he composed would one day become the iconic anthem of European football, inspiring countless players and fans to quicken their heartbeat. This music is not only an echo of history, but also a fusion and inheritance of culture, a shining light of art flowing through the currents of time. When we cheer for football and feel the thrill in the stadium, we are also, in an invisible way, paying tribute to Handel, thanking him for passing down this powerful emotion and inspiration to us. That is the magic of music, transcending time and space, warming hearts, and sparking endless possibilities. From a little boy secretly playing the piano in the attic to composing timeless masterpieces like Messiah, Water Music, and Zadok the Priest, Handel's life is like a grand symphony, full of highs and lows, yet playing an eternal melody. Through his music, he connected royalty, religion, art, and sports, creating a resonance that transcends time. Every time the Champions League anthem plays, it's not just the start of a match. It's a musical tribute spanning over 3 centuries, honoring a maestro who composed a magnificent chapter with his life. If this story moved you and you want to celebrate this great composer, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Share it with friends who love music, football, or history. Feel free to leave a comment below. Which Handel piece do you think fits modern performances best? Or whose story would you like to hear next? Don't forget to ring the notification bell. Our next episode will dive into even more fascinating stories.